This is the kind of response one gets. Or, if not opposition, immediately this issue is deferred and sublimated into other free texts for debate and argumentation. Fortunately, we have not reached the point of armed skirmishes and violent confrontation for the sake of our mother or father tongue, as in India and other countries. My partisanship for Filipino, not Tagalog, is bound to inflame Cebuanos, Bicolanos, Ilocanos, and so on, including Filipino speakers or writers of English or Filipino English. We probably try to diffuse any brewing conflict quickly by using the colonizer's language or compromise bagel-wise. My view is that only continuing historical analysis can help explain the present contradictory conjuncture and disclose the options it offers us. Only engagement in the current political struggles can resolve the linguistic antinomy and aporia and clarify the important consequence of the controversy over the national language question. Sa kasalukuyang matinding sigalot sa bansa, anumang talakayan hinggil sa wika ay tiyak na magbubunsod ng isang away o maingay na pagtatalo. Kahawig nito ang usapin ng kababaihan. Laging matinik ang issue ng pambansang wika, isang sintomas ng paglikom ng mga sakit ng body politic. Tila ito isang mitsang nagpapasabog o magpapasabog sa pinakabuod ng mga kontradiksyong bumubuo sa estruktura ng lipunan siyang nagkatangkal na larangan ng digmaan ng mga uri at iba't ibang sektor. Lalong masahol siguro kung sabihin kung nasa panig ako ng mga nagsususok sa isang pambansang wikang tinaguriang Filipino. Tiyak natututo ang mga Cebuano, Ilocano, Ilonggo, mga lagad ng Taglish o Ingles o Filipino-Ingles. Ngunit hindi ito maiiwasan, kaya tuloy na tayo makipagbuno sa usapin ito upang mailinaw ang linya ng paghahatid, pamumukod, at sa gayoy makarating sa antas ng pagtutuos at pagpapasya. Sa anong lugar, ang usapin ng pambansang wika ay kumakatawan sa pagkatalo tungkol sa mga mahalagang usapin sa politika at ekonomiya. Buti naman, hindi pa tayo nagpapatayan sa ngalan ng wika tulad ng nangyayari sa India at iba pang bansa. Marahil napapahinahon ang bawat isa sa atin kung Ingles, ang wika ng dating kolonisador, ang wika ng neoliberal globalization ngayon ang ating gagamitin. Di ko lang tiyak kung maiging magkakaunawaan ang lahat sapagkat ang pagsasali o translation, kalimitan, ang siyang nagbubunga ng karagdagang basag-ulo. Ngunit ang pagbaling sa Ingles ay pagsuko lamang sa dominasyon ng kapangyarihang global sa ilalim ng kasalukuyang hegemon, ang Estados Unidos. Ang makalalutas ng krisis, sa tingin ko, ay isang pakikisangkot sa nangyayaring labanang pampolitika at pang-ideolohiya, lalo na ang pakikibaka tungo sa tunay na kasarinlan at demokrasyang popular. Sa gitna ng dominasyon ng mga mayayaman at makapangyarihang bansa sa Europa, North America, Hapon, at iba pa. One would expect that this issue would have been resolved a long time ago, but given the dire condition of the Philippine political economy in this epoch of globalized terrorism, the U.S. hegemon, a plight that is the product of more than a century of colonial and neo-colonial domination, all the controversies surrounding this proposal of a national language since the time of the Philippine Commonwealth, when Quezon convened the Institute of National Language under Jaime de Vera, have risen again like ravenous ghouls. I believe this specter can never be properly laid to rest until we have acquired genuine sovereignty, until national self-determination has been fully exercised, and the Filipino people, 3,000 every day, more than 1 million every year, will no longer be living in droves as overseas contract workers. The whole nation becoming a global subaltern to the transnational corporations, to the World Bank, WTO, IMF, the predatory finance capital of the global north. We cannot help but be interpellated by the sirens of the global market as transformed into exchangeable warm bodies. We can at least interrogate the conditions of our subordination. So in the hope of avoiding such a situation, which is almost unavoidable, I would like to offer the following theses that may initiate a new approach to the question and not offer heuristic points of departure for reflection. In contrast to the dominant neoliberal and culturalist approach, I apply a historical materialist one whose method is not only historicizing and dialectical, not merely deploying the Aufhebung of Hegel within an eclectic and neo-Weberian framework, but also, as Marx said, standing it on its head in the complex and changing social relations of production within concrete historical settings. The materialist dialectic offers a method of analysis and elucidation of the context in which questions about the national language can be clarified and the nuances of its practical implications elaborated. So, first thesis, language is not a self-sufficient entity or a phenomenon in itself, but a component of the social forms of consciousness of any given social formation. As such, it can only be properly addressed within the historical specificity of a given mode of production and the attendant social political formation. It has no history of its own, but is a constituent and constitutive part of the ideological terrain on which struggle of classes and historic blocks are fought, always in an uneven and combined mode of development. It forms part of the conflicted evolution of an integral state, as Gramsci conceived it as a combination of political society and civil society. So the issue of language is located right at the heart of the construction of what Gramsci calls the integral state. Hence, not only a synchronic but also diachronic dimension should be dialectically comprehended in grasping the worth and contribution of language to the liberation and fulfillment of the human potential. Bagamat mula pa nung panahon ni Quezon hanggang sa ngayon, ang issue ng pambansang wika ay naipaloob sa konstitusyon, bumangon ito muli na tila mga kaluluwang uhaw sa dugo. Loose translation. Maire-resolve lang ang isyong ito kung may tunay na soberanya na tayo at namamayani ang kapangyarihan ng nakararami, mga presente at mga gagawa, at nabuwag na ang poder ng mga may-aring kaputsaba ng imperialismo. Sa ngayon, walang kalutasan ito. Sintomas ng bayang naghihirap hanggang ang relasyong sosyal ay kontrolado ng naghaharing uri, lalo na ng mga koprador at may lupang pabor sa Ingles. Wikang may prestigyo at kinagawiyang wika sa pakikipag-ugnay sa kanilang mga patrong Amerikano, Hokmaninsik at iba pa. Sa halip na sipatin ang isyong ito sa kinagawiyang empirikal na lapit, tulad ng ginagamit ng mga postmodernistang scholar, dapat ipataw ang isang materialismo, historikal na pananaw, at ang dialektikong paraan upang makalikha ng praktikang agenda na tutugon sa tanong kung ano ang wikang pambansang